we talk a lot about self-esteem and how important it is. And it is. It is important if you want to heal. It is important if you want to get to what you want. Self-esteem is a must in the end if you want to align with the type of life that you wish to have, right? But what does it really mean to have self-esteem, to have high self-esteem? And in this video, I'll show it to you in a very simple way, so that once you understand that, you know what to do about it. You know how to get to that high self-esteem. So, if you want to have high self-esteem, become like a cat. What do I mean by that? If you look at a cat, the way it lives its life, you will see that a cat, when it needs something, it comes to you and it shows it to you very naturally, right? It will come. It's almost like for the cat, it's very natural to have a need, and that need will be fulfilled. So it naturally comes to you with its need, and it does its thing. It shows you what it needs, and then it waits for you to give it to the cat, right? To give it to it. When you do that, it's great. It takes its time, and when the need is fulfilled, it just goes away, unless there is another one that comes. And let's say that in that moment you're busy and you can't pet it or whatever it wants. You can't give it what it wants. What happens then is that the cat will come and ask you for what it wants, right? And then you won't give it to it. It will try again, unapologetically, right? And you will not give it to it. And what it will do next is that it's almost like the cat is going to be a little bit baffled by the fact that it's not getting what it wants, which is very high self-esteem. And then it will just remove itself and go somewhere else and get it somewhere else. And what this is showing you is, number one, is that cat is not going to be apologetic about its needs, its wants, which is part of its boundaries, right? It will come, it will be very clear about what it wants, and then it will go. And when it can't have it, there's almost a feeling, like it's baffled that it can't have it. Because it trusts that life will give it what it wants. And that's the most important part. With self-esteem, esteem means that you value yourself. You value every part of you. You value who you are. You value your desires. You value your needs. You value whatever comes up. Whether it's your hate, your anger, your envy, anything that is, you value and you take it in and you listen to it and you go with it. You don't fight it. You don't go against it. You don't go around telling yourself that you need to correct yourself, but you align with it. And you give it the esteem that it needs. You give it value. You value everything about you. You value everything about life. And so you go, you show up as you are. You show what you want, right? And if the person or the situation doesn't give you what you want, what you desire in that moment, you'll ask again because you trust that you should be given it, right? Because you trust that if you have a desire, if there is a longing in you, you know that life will give you also the fulfillment. Because that you know that life is benevolent. And you can trust it. It's not going to hatch a desire in you so that you can suffer in frustration for the rest of your life. But it's giving it to you because there is something, because the fulfillment is also around the corner. And so you know that through experience, right? It's not like you suddenly know that, but through the experience that you have in your life, you start suddenly realizing that you are given everything that you want, that you need. And you're given everything so that you can be completely yourself. You can experience yourself as you are. And so there is this trust that comes with it. And when you see that you can't have it from one person, from this person over there, you're going to ask once, twice, you'll be clear, you will open up, you'll show up as you are because you value yourself. And then you'll value also the other person and see that that's not what they can give you. They don't want to. And you're not going to stifle your desire because the other person can't give it to you. But what you will do is that you'll say, okay, I value that you can't give me this. I value the moment, what it's showing me. And I also value what is inside of me. And I will take it somewhere else because I know that somewhere else I can get what I want. And maybe here there's something I need to learn. I'm shown something about myself. Maybe there's a limiting belief. Maybe there's something else. Maybe I need to prolong that desire. I don't know, right? So that's what happens. And if you look at a cat, the way it lives unapologetically, meaning that it just belongs because it is. And high self-esteem is someone who knows that they belong in this life, that they belong where they are just because they are. They don't have to have high intelligence, high beauty, high whatever. They just are, and that's enough to belong. They just are, and that's enough to be loved. They just are. That's it. And they know it. They embody themselves. They embody the moment and themselves in the moment. And so you can see that solid grounding. And let me add something else. I remember some time ago, I was listening to one of my teachers, Byron Katie. And she was telling the story where she needed a hug. I think she was traveling, she was on the airplane. And there was no one there that she knew. And in that moment, there was this desire for a hug. She wanted to be held, right? And, many of us have that. But what do we do with that? We stifle it, right? We tell ourselves we shouldn't have that. We tell ourselves that we can't have what we want. And we don't listen to it. We don't give it the value, any value. And we minimize it. But in her case, what she did was this. She looked around. There was nobody she knew. And she was like, yeah, of course. If I need a hug, I know I can have it. Because that's what I need. If I need something, it will be given to me. Because that's the universe she's living in. And so what she did was that she looked, I guess intuitively, she looked around, she looked at the person that was next to her, somebody she didn't know, and she asked them whether they could hug her. And they said, okay. So they took her in their arms. I don't know if it was a he or she, but they took her in their arms and she slept in their arms. And I don't know about you, but that was very daring, right? But she did it because she knew that she is in a benevolent universe. And most of us don't know that. We think it's a very antagonistic one. We think it's oblivious to us. We don't know that it's benevolent. And I'm not saying that suddenly you should become like her and start asking for hugs or just listening to herself. If you can, why not? Try it out. But it's not about you jumping into something or becoming who you're not. But it's you valuing it, the moment as it is. You value whatever comes up in you. And you start listening to it. You start being with it. And giving your attention to it. And you it's literally, for me, high self-esteem is that you value every moment. And you value yourself as you come up in the moment. That's high self-esteem. And you can give it to yourself in the moment. And you get to a place where, I remember, again, it was Byron Katie who said that she used to say that whenever she met someone who didn't like her, it would baffle her. Because she was like, I like myself so much. I just can't understand that somebody else can't like me, can't value me, right? In that moment, if we talk about self-esteem. And, the first time I heard it, I loved it. It felt so liberating. And then at some point in my life, I realized that there were moments where I would go there. There were moments where I would be baffled that somebody wasn't interested in me. And I would be like, oh, okay. And I'm telling you this because there are moments when I have that, and there are moments when I don't. The moments when I have that is the moments when I value everything about myself. Whatever comes up throughout the day, whether it's sadness, it's anger, it's hate, whatever it is, I take it in, I understand it, I give it my attention because I think it comes with the gems. And when I have that, that's the moment where it's hard for me to understand that somebody's not interested in me. Somebody wouldn't want to be next to me. That's really baffling in that moment. But then there are those moments where I don't like myself, right? I go into fighting. I fight myself. I fight certain parts. I tell myself, oh my God, I'm triggered again. I shouldn't be triggered. Oh my God, I haven't gotten to the space. I'm correcting myself in that moment. And in that moment, I don't feel that way. I actually am baffled that somebody would be interested in me. And I think high self-esteem is when you start even valuing even that. When you start understanding that there's two parts in you, that there's this part that is so unconditional, and then there's that other part that is still very conditional. But that at some point you take it in, and at some point even that unconditionality takes you closer to conditionality. That conditionality shows you how beautiful life is in the unconditional, in those moments when you are unconditionally with yourself. So suddenly everything becomes of value, and you start taking it in more and more. And so I think what I'm trying to tell you here is that when it comes to self-esteem, take it literally. Tell yourself, what is it? If you want to have high esteem of yourself, then every moment start valuing whatever comes in. Take it in, love it, understand it, value it, see the gems behind it. Because you will find those gems. Start seeing that. Start asking yourself whether you are in a universe that is against you, or is it benevolent? Maybe it's time to question that, because most of us come from the idea that it's a universe that is going against us, and so we need to fight it. We need to correct ourselves. We can't be as we are, right? And maybe it's time to question also that. And find a cat and make it your master. Really, cats will show you how to have very high self-esteem because they are unapologetically themselves. If you have any questions, any comments, let me know down below. And see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.